What's up, everyone? Welcome to a Love Like That podcast. I'm Brandon.
I'm Jacqueline.
And we are here, as I always say, once again. Not just once again, but once again. We are here. And first and foremost, babe, you look amazing. I just want to let you know that right now.
Thanks,
I might date you. I'm just saying. But we are here to talk about all things marriage, and we are very honored and very blessed to have two wonderful individuals who have united to become one awesome couple.
Yes.
And I thank you guys so much. And so I'd like to bring on Mr. and Mrs. Gordon, Mr. Andrew, Miss Shiedah. How y'all doing today?
All right.
Good.
We good, man.
Good.
Yes.
Happy to be here.
Thank
Happy
you
for the
guys
opportunity.
for
Thank you for inviting us.
Look, no problem. Look, they took a flight out here because it might as well taking a flight. How far they had to travel to come out here. But no, we thank you guys for making time to come out here and kicking it with us today. Absolutely. And on the Love Like That podcast. So, you know, the name of the podcast is called A Love Like That because it's not about a love like this, like us. So if I could say, if I were to ask you guys, what does a love like the Gordon family look like? How would you describe it?
How would you describe it?
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. I would say encouraging, supportive. I think we hold each other accountable. We're loving. I think those would be a couple of words that I'd throw out there.
Nice. I would definitely say like a variety, because we have children, right? And so finding that time for each other and finding the time to be a father, to be a husband, like an employee. You know what I mean? Like all of those things are encompassed into what we have together, and so making sure that we find time for each other is what our love looks like.
Yeah.
Finding time. I like that.
right.
I like
Being
that.
intentional.
That's right. Being intentional, making it happen.
You said the
Right.
key
It
word for her
doesn't
because she
just-
always talks about
I
that.
love it.
Intentionality.
Oh,
Yes.
it's major.
It
You
is.
really see on this side of things, like it definitely is major. It's easy just to kind of get, we were talking about earlier, just kind of get swept away in everything that is. When you say a husband, a father, an employee, like there's so many, and that's just three of the hats, business owner, like just so many different things. And it's so easy just to get swallowed up in all of that. But really just, we got to be intentional about, I always say, kind of going back to, that moment when we got together, when we got married, when it was so exciting, when we're, pledging our I do's, all of that.
Right.
You gotta recreate those butterflies on a regular basis. So
You
just
is so fine, baby. You is
being
so fine.
intentional in the growth and recreating that on different levels because we're growing into two different people.
Beautiful.
So that's major. We definitely got to make that happen.
It's funny because like most people, we take that love language quiz, and I remember my first one being words of affirmation. Since we've been married this long, it's now
It's switched.
acts of service.
Come on.
Yeah, that's intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's intentional. And so like not just what you say to me anymore, because words have power, but they're just words at time, but action speak louder than words. That's the
Absolutely.
intentionality.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what we got going on.
Listen, when you said like acts of service, we talk about just how being married is now you're in the service business. Like this,
we say
this
that all
is
the
service to another person every day. This is it. Like, so it makes sense because I feel like before mine was, what was it, gifts?
Oh, definitely.
It definitely. It was
Spoiled.
before. It was. Oh yeah.
Spoiled.
Is it because of your daddy?
It wasn't even like
Wow.
my dad is very
He's practical.
very practical. Definitely, but
he'll do it for you, though.
Right, absolutely. Do anything in the world for you, but very practical. But just, I don't know, that was just...
She was the baby.
I was.
That's what that was.
But it really is like, It doesn't, but a gift could honestly just be, hey, like something you took intentional time to
I
make.
thought about
you know,
you.
right?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like,
Something
oh,
lavish.
right, something lavish. That right? It could just be something you took the time to do. So.
Yeah, I'm actually. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to remember to talk about that later on, because I'm going to get carried away if I get into
Oh yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
know,
have
I
to-
get I get carried away.
Yeah, no,
guys.
because just maybe. But anywho, all right. So I said we have you guys here, and I'm actually I was looking at your hat real quick, and so I know it says mental health advocate.
Yeah.
I'm loving the hat, by the way.
Come on.
And I want to ask you about the hat here in a minute, but knowing that, because I know that you know both of you guys have been in the mental health aspect, genre or industry for a while. How does that play a role into how you deal with each other? Understanding that you guys have to deal with that on a day-to-day basis.
Mental health is everywhere, and oftentimes, with the skills and things that I'm learning, on a day-to-day basis, she doesn't like for me to practice at home necessarily. Like she's quick to say, "Don't therapy me."
So how are you feeling?
Listen.
Like I hear what you're saying, and it sounds like, "Don't therapy me right now."
Right.
Don't do me right now.
Well,
right?
what do you want me to argue? Like, what do you want? Like, I'm practicing this stuff. I'm teaching other people. So there's no other opportunity to do these things other than right now.
Right. Got to model it.
So, but I think definitely me being in this field and, her having some background in it too, and just, working with humans, I think we have a better understanding on how to communicate with each other effectively. And we also talked about this in the car, like, like what is that one thing that we have? And I truly think it is our communication,
Great.
Yeah. And we even broke it down so far as just because I'm not saying anything doesn't mean my body language isn't
Right.
communicating to you I'm not my best right now, or I got an issue,
Yeah.
and being able to read that, pick that up, I believe that is part of the communication as well. So,
That's
and that
major.
helps out with the relationship.
Would you say that that's true?
I'd agree with that 100%. I think the only thing that I would add to that too is, in mental health, in that space, right? You have to learn how to navigate, especially if you're dealing with people kind of on the outside. You have to learn how to navigate different people with where they are, right?
Yes.
So navigating personalities, navigating, their lifestyles and your lifestyles, and just kind of learning to be understanding and, just making it clear, or having a clear understanding that people are people, right? And it's okay for people to be people. So I think without going, too far into detail or, a long drawn out explanation, but I think being understanding and allowing people to be who they are,
Yes.
and not forcing them to be anything that they aren't, also kind of help lend some help, kind of coming from where we are. Meeting people where they are is, I think, what I'm trying to say.
Radical acceptance.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there. Yeah, I'm gonna go there.
He dropping bars. Okay. So okay. So all right. Because like I said, there's what I love about you guys is that you guys cover so many different things in your day to day, but also in your marriage. So we can go a lot of different directions. But if I could just scale it back just one more time, how did we get here? How did this man meet this woman, and this woman said yes to this man? How did we get from the Genesis
Take
to
us
here?
back to the beginning, guys.
Go ahead, babe.
Okay. So as we had mentioned, we both kind of come from a healthcare background, where I was working as an administrative assistant for a mental health agency. He was coming in for an interview, and I am the first person that he sees when he comes in for his interview. So I check him in, get all his paperwork and all that other good old stuff. And, somewhere in between him actually going back there for, I don't know if you asked like before the interview or after the interview.
It was after.
It was after the interview. So he's just like, so, like, where are you going for lunch today? Or, you know, something of that nature. And I'm like, you know, at the time I had a boyfriend. So I'm just kind of like blowing him off a little bit. And, you know, so he makes this little comment, oh, well, he can come too. So, you know, in either case, like we kind of remained friends. We ended up working together. Like, so I came out of my administrative assistant position and I actually worked with the kids, the summer camp. We had a summer camp for kids and we, you know, was there as paraprofessionals with the kids. So we ended up kind of working together. We built a friendship and a few months later, I want to say maybe about a good 6 months later, he invited me out to his birthday party. He was celebrating his birthday. So me and a friend of mine, we actually went out, we met him. But by this time, me and my boo at the time, we were, you know, kind of separating.
On the outs,
we weren't not separating like we were married or anything. But we, you know, we weren't together anymore.
Taking a chill.
Yeah. So
More than
you
chill.
know, so I was like, more than chill.
Like forever.
Right.
We ain't good.
Right. Okay. So I was like, this might be my little opportunity to kind of like, you know, see what's up. So, you know, I pulled up to, you know, a little birthday celebration or whatever. And, you know, it was kind of a thing a little bit.
It was a thing.
It
led to a thing.
Yeah.
Right. A bigger
So
thing.
That's kind of what it was. So, I mean, low key though, like while we were working, I started to feel him a little bit. Like I started to kind of like him while we were kind of working together.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever told you that. Have I ever told you that?
Come on now. It's me.
Fresh off the press.
Right.
Fresh
Hot off the presses, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. So, like, I think what really did it for me was we took our kids on a trip. And on this bus, it was like an old raggedy, janky bus. Like, the windows wouldn't close. I'm on the bus freezing. He, like, literally took his polo shirt off. He had a T-shirt under. He took his polo shirt off and gave it to me. And I was like, any man who will literally take his shirt off his back and give it to me, that's the kind of man I need in my life.
Yes. That's so
See, it was twofold. Okay, so I already see what happened here. Okay, let me tell you what happened. He was trying to make sure that you were okay, number one. But what you didn't know, he wanted to make sure once he took that shirt off that you saw the guns. You know, he wanted you to see the physique.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I was wearing Brute back in the day.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
Yeah, you know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
man.
So-
That's the real OG. That's the real OG. I love it.
Yeah, smell my cologne, baby. Yeah.
That's right.
And you always
All of it.
Thank you.
still.
Always
Pheromones.
smell good.
All
Ooh.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you.
I'm loving this energy I'm feeling here.
telling
Okay. And so that was just, y'all were just digging each other since then. And then, does that
Yeah.
sound about right? That sounds
About
kind of
right. Yeah,
okay.
she told the story very well. Other than like, the interview that day, I noticed Shiedah with the red dress, and ever since then, like that day, she was Shiedah with the red dress. 'Cause,
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful
Yes.
body. You know,
Oh,
yeah, gotta throw that out
Thank you,
there.
boo.
They can't see on camera. But yeah.
Thank you, baby.
I was gonna say
Look,
stand
look,
up
look.
and turn around for
Look. I got nothing. I don't know what to say.
Love like that.
Right.
Right.
It's gonna stay there.
After
Okay.
Exactly right.
It's gonna stay there.
Like that. Right.
Yeah, man. So that sold it. Well, like she said, like, well, you don't say that part, but you know, oftentimes it's what you see first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And not knowing what you see will lead into what you love. You know, and so I think like that's where the beginning really started. Like not knowing, hey, this is who I need. You know what I mean? Like not just what I want, but this is what I need.
Yeah.
You know, this is who I need. And, you know, growing from there, man, to, hey, it was just one random day. I was like, you know what? I'm ready to get married. And I was at Starbucks doing my work.
Yeah.
Left Starbucks, went straight to Jerry across the street. You know what I mean? Went through the whole process. And then the next day. So if y'all want to know how we actually got engaged.
Yeah. I'm like,
wow.
Look,
creepy.
since
I'm
you
over
already
like,
here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, drove across street to Jared's. I already knew the ring size, and all that, jazz. So the next day, I can pick the ring up. So this is like happening, right?
Wow.
So I pick the ring up, call her dad. Can't miss no steps.
Right,
Call
exactly.
her
Don't
dad.
miss it.
Talk about it.
He was in agreement. Said you're a good guy, and I like how you are with my daughter. I couldn't figure out how I was going to actually propose, right? So idea came to my head. If I can get her to say I'm going to take pictures, then she's going to get dressed.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're going to go to dinner. She's going to go get dressed. And from there, so we went to the mall. The photo place in the mall where they actually take your picture.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in there taking pictures, and the guy asks, hey, do you have any other poses that you want to do? And I said, yeah, I got one. So I went to my coat pocket, grabbed the box, and got down on one knee.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so they captured it. I know they captured it.
Yep.
Okay.
Damn.
He kept taking pictures the whole
I
time.
love it.
But meanwhile, he's like confused because the photographer, he had no clue what was happening.
Right.
At first he was just kind of sitting there looking like, what's
Wait,
happening?
what am I about to be a part
Y'all
of?
know what I think y'all doing?
This
And
is
then
real.
and I think
Are we really doing this right
now?
Oh,
This is it, right?
Yeah.
So thank God he kept taking pictures.
Right.
And I need to know what was okay. I know how you probably felt, but what was her facial expression at this time?
Like, yeah, like that.
But I will also add though, like, yes, that was my facial expression, but I think also in my mind I was, because he has this box in his hand. It's just the box, like it's the Jared's box.
Yeah.
He didn't have like the ring box. He didn't have
I
the
was
whole
a
thing.
rookie to take
He was so nervous. He was so nervous. So it was just a box with the bow and everything, right? So he has this box, and clearly I know what he's doing, but I'm also like, but is he though? Because
Right.
I'm
This
not
could be some
like,
earrings.
You see what I'm saying?
It could be a little
Oh,
pump switch.
oh.
I didn't see a ring,
It
so I'm
could-
like, I think
that would be confusing. Like, wait, am I supposed
And
to?
when you saw the ring, when you
Right.
when
We
you finally
need a
got
confirmation. We need a
Then-
confirmation of the ring.
Then it was because he was down on my knees, so I got down on the knee with him. I'm hugging, I'm
You
crying.
remember what I said?
Huh?
Remember what I said?
I remember you said that you were nervous. I remember you told me
I
that you were
said,
nervous.
this is it.
This is it.
I looked at her like, this is it.
That's right. Listen.
Said nothing more, nothing less. This is it. Let's do it.
This is it. Yes, you sure did. But yeah, after I realized, oh, okay, he got a ring, and I was just like, oh my god. And
Wow.
I kind of got down on my knees with him,
Yep.
and hugged him. I was crying.
So, okay.
Love it.
Love the story.
Love it.
Okay, love the story. Let me get back to you here for a minute, real quick. So, no, I'm just saying, my man said he just popped in his head.
That's what I was thinking back to, too.
So,
that's what I was thinking back to, too. Like, he was just
I
at
applaud
Starbucks.
that. I think that's
Yeah, he
remarkable.
was at Starbucks.
So, you were at Starbucks, and it was just, I think I want to get married one day, or I think I want to get married, and it
Like,
was just
Yeah, I want to get
ASAP.
married to her.
Clear.
okay,
Right,
right. Well, yeah,
right.
clearly,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But you said, you know what? I think I want to marry her. It was just like out of nowhere. It was like, it's just whatever. It just clicked and just.
But
it was
clearly,
like,
y'all had discussions. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, I get
Okay.
he had
Okay.
ringside.
Ringside.
all right,
Yeah.
right, okay. So
I
there have been
caught
discussions.
that part,
okay,
but
okay.
it really was
I ain't
just
make that
like,
ringside. Like, I'm gonna just
Is it to-
go
I
for
think-
it.
That's
More
that's
so
I'm like,
I
yo,
said
my
that.
guy.
yeah, like a today,
Okay,
like
let's
I
go with that.
feel
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
from the day that you said I know I want to get married to actually proposing, how many days are we talking about in between?
One.
Jeez.
The next day. It was at night. Got to pick the ring up the next day, afternoon. Proposed a couple hours later.
How long did you guys date?
Year and a half?
Hold on, wait. Let me think. Okay, so
What's the real
y'all,
story?
We had like our relationship journey between just dating and marriage wasn't that long, honestly. So we started dating November 2011.
Okay.
great.
A good time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great things for going on.
Okay,
Yes.
so that happened. We moved in. I moved into his apartment that summer.
Okay.
So 8 months ish, we moved in together. I think he proposed. It was January 26th. that following year. So we started dating 2011. We got engaged January 2012. So a year and
a year and 2 months.
A year and 2 months.
Okay.
Yes.
I was 3 months.
Well, you know.
Right.
So
well, I'm sorry. I mean, I had to process it.
You did very well. You're great with
You
dates.
did say a year and a half, but I'm like, I think it's a little bit shorter.
that don't sound right. Okay, so you just knew, because I always talk about, Jackie and I talk about this, where we're like, I feel most men, it doesn't take long for a man to really know what his intentions are with whoever it is that he's dating. He knows where it's either this is going somewhere or it's not.
Right.
So with that being said, was it like, I know you guys had discussions before, but like how long into the dating process did you start having those discussions where it's like, you know what, yeah, this might be something, not necessarily I want to get married, but like, okay, this could actually be something.
Man, when we bought that huge bedroom IKEA
Sad
closet,
y'all had to put together yourself, right?
hours. Like, oh, this is it.
I ain't about to go through this with nobody else.
This is it.
I'm doing
Like,
this.
she's the one. Like,
Yeah.
This take
commitment.
hours.
This is commitment.
Yeah, this is commitment. If this ain't commitment, I don't know what is. Wow.
Exactly. Honestly, I think also, the key, giving you a key and solidifying it that way. I think it was one time where you drove to my apartment because I didn't answer the phone. And you wanted to see if I was okay. You were checking on me to make sure I was good.
Oh, man.
That solidified it as well. So we actually cared about each other, even in the early stages. It wasn't just I like you, I care about you. I think that was huge. Like we all got backgrounds and all those things, and so to have somebody actually express that love and express like, dang, I care about you. I want to make sure you were okay and safe.
Yeah.
Especially coming from the bachelor life, like I'm by myself. This is my apartment. I'm straight. Ain't nobody checking on me like that.
Yeah.
So for somebody to actually be checking on me, that made a big difference.
Yeah. And I think for me, I remember very early, kind of in our dating a little bit, like like he said, we all have history and background with other people and things of that sort. And I just remember, like, matter of fact, there's two things that I'm going to share. So I remember at the time I was leaving my grandma, and we were dating, and and I just remember feeling so strongly about him. Like, I started praying. I'm like, Lord, I can't go through no more foolishness. Like, if he is for me, like, please just, like, give me a sign. Like, give me some type of confirmation. Like, this is my person. Like, if he is not,
take him out.
Get him on. Like, 'cause I can't. Like, I cannot. So I think after kind of like feeling like, I don't know, how often you guys pray, but like, I think when I pray sometimes, and I just feel some almost kind of like a burden, kind of released from me a little bit. And I think that, and kind of going through our dating processes and things like that, I just felt really good about it, like, after that. And I remember talking to my cousin one day, and I don't think I had ever shared this with her before. I was just like, you know what, like, I think he is the one for me, So I think those two things were confirmation. Like, I don't think it was ever just, besides, like, little puppy love kind of thing, where she's like, oh my God, like, I love him so much.
Right. We like the same color.
Right, you see what I'm saying? Like, just very surface level.
He cooked for me.
Right.
But like, like, those two things were, I think, what kind of solidified it. It was confirmation for me.
Yeah.
Maybe for a man, it takes more than those one or two things. And because as we're talking, I'm thinking, going back to, I think not one of our first dates, but as we were dating, and so often I would date chicks who didn't have a driver's license. I would date chicks who never offered to pay, and saw that even because I'm working, like, you can afford to pay, and like, she was one of the very first ones that actually I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got it. And actually, I took a picture of her, like, with the receipt, signing it, because I was just blown away. Like, wow.
They
like,
make you?
Right.
Like, are you paying? Like, all right. Like, this a thing? Okay. Let's keep it going. Like,
Major
you're not
points that night.
selfish. Like, you care about me.
So note to all, if there are any single people out here watching this, that, and to the ladies, okay, Jackie and I, when we were like dating, even when we were younger, to college, to even after college or whatever the case is, we go out on dates, and I already knew who was paying. I knew that it was me.
Babe?
It was me. It was me, right? And it's cool, right? You know, like I said, she was the princess, so I understood what I was dealing with, right? And it's cool, because I always said she was my dream girl. I was like, all right, you know, I already know what it is. But in every single formation or version of our relationship, something was always changing. But the last one, before we actually got married, we went on a date one time, whatever, and check him. She's like, "Oh, I got this number." I was like, "Shut up! What? Who are you? And what have you done with Jacqueline?"
I'm telling you,
I don't know this person.
Like
and for me, I said,
100.
this ain't the same. I don't know who this woman is. I called my boy Greg. I said, I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Who is she?
I don't know who this
That's
is.
like growth,
but
babe.
yeah, I was like, it's growth. And here's the thing, women. It's not the fact that we want you to pay. We just want to know that you at least will offer, that you are willing to be in it with us.
Yeah.
And as long as we know that, then we can work everything else out. Right. So that's just a little tidbit for you know, the ladies out there, also for the fellas, because y'all, you know, understand that part as well. But I think that was okay. So that's really what it was. Like, that was a part that you saw, and it was like, wow, okay, and that was a real deal.
So yeah, I guess in that year and 2 months, year and a half, it was a collection of things, you know, that really got us to where we are today. You know, or got us to the altar. Let's say that, you know, we didn't get married in church, but you know, it got us down the aisle. So
how nervous were you guys on the one when getting married?
I wasn't nervous at all. I wasn't.
Awesome.
She lying.
What you mean?
But,
Tell us about it.
so he asked a general question: how nervous were you on that day? So it was raining that morning, and our ceremony was outside.
Yeah.
And so
No way you were cool, calm, and collective.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, marrying him like that.
Right. But I'm thinking about just the day.
Yeah.
The day.
It was amazing.
Yeah, and we talked actually before it, and I think I was able to help calm you down. And, you know, Lord willing, the sun came out, dried up like itsy bitsy spider, dried up all the rain. Dried up all the rain.
Dried up all
That
the
is
rain.
always like the.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it though. I
wet
love
outside.
that the sun.
That's nothing
came
but God
out.
right there.
Yes.
That's nothing but God. Oh,
Come
man.
on.
I love that.
Definitely.
I love that.
Yeah.
It was warm out there.
It was definitely warm.
But yeah, us and
That's
our
good.
when we look at our pictures, like baby faces.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I saw y'all pictures upstairs, baby
Yeah.
faces.
Right. It's like, man, who are those people, man?
I know.
It
Time
changes.
is flying. Time flies when you're having fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Definitely.
It really
Time
is. I
flies.
think I love the stories, and I love how you guys the story of you guys coming together. I want to ask you, because you guys wear many hats, and I know it's a lot of different things that you guys have to do as far as just being professionals, parents, spouses, individuals. And I know in your practice that you deal with a lot as far as make sure that, you know, like, your clients are good from a mental standpoint, because obviously you're dealing with mental health. And your business is also it's just like your brand. Everything is about mental health. How do you take off the burden of being that person and having the room for your own mental health, and just as a man, as a husband, to be what you need to be for her? You don't take what happens, you know, in your day to day and bring it home. And then also, how do you make time that way you can just be, you know, Andrew?
Yeah.
That was like a loaded question.
No, I heard everything you said. First part, the way that I'm able to, like, disconnect, if I am having a rough day, right, and something maybe I did or something that, you know, just didn't go well, I try not to hold it in by myself, and I will come to her and say, hey, this will happen today, right? Because if I get stuck in my head, now I'm dealing with stress, that I truly don't want to deal with. And so as best I can say, hey, babe, this will happen today, and this is how I'm feeling about it. And she'll talk to me, whether she's giving me, not criticism, but feedback, on what I did or, what the client might be tripping off of. It's helpful to me because now I'm not just dealing with it by myself, or I'm just stuck in my head. And I've tested it. If I don't say anything for a few days, my mood changes. I'm not as energized. I'm just not myself. But as soon as I talk about it with her,
it.
yeah, as soon as it's just like gone, it's not a problem anymore. So that's definitely one way. And also, man, like their problems aren't my problems, right? And I'm not in charge of their problems, and I didn't create their problems. They're coming to me to talk about what's going on in their world, and kind of just share, and I just want to be that space, and to give them that opportunity. So I don't take anything personal what somebody else got going on. I'm there to help as much as I can, and again, be an outlet. So if I did my job, great, and I want to continue to do that and continue to help people, because that's truly the goal. As a mental health advocate, that is the goal, to help as many people as I can. But also, I never neglect myself, or I try not to. I'm the early riser in our family. I'm the breakfast maker, lunch maker. I'm that guy. So I know those things are going to take place. So instead of, kids got to get up at 7, well, I'm up maybe 4, 5 o'clock to give myself time, right? Because I can't just wake up and be dad or husband and then, be business owner for however long, and then up 4 o'clock, here, kids home, right back to being dad. And it's like, well, when were you Andrew today?
Right.
And so the morning time is definitely my time to, like, really be me. I truly do meditate. I will sit there and breathe. This morning, I sat in my son's bed because I didn't feel like going downstairs, because both of them were in our bed. Well, you know what? His room is pretty dark. I can go in there. It's quiet, and I'm just going to breathe. I'm going to pray, and I'm just going to listen, And it was healing for me, because it allowed me to start my day in a positive, healthy way. And so, go to bed early to wake up early. I can't go to bed late and wake up early. I'm not going to hear the alarm clock,
Right.
And it's important for me to get Andrew time. So, and I encourage Shiedah to get Shiedah time. She get it when she get it. When she chooses to.
Oh, but you said, okay, when she chooses to.
Yeah.
So, all right, so let me ask you something here. So, I tell we used to talk about this. I'm like, I tell Jackie, it's like, you know what? If you just give me like 2 days, if I just had like 2 days, I could be the best husband for like the rest of the year. Just give me if I just had like a day or two, like complete solitude, I could be like the best whatever. And so I'm like, so now I try to do that for her. I'm like, babe, why don't you just take like a day off, take 2 days off or whatever case, like get away, whatever. No, I don't like doing that. I think, I want to be with you, babe, or I want to be with the family or whatever. I'm like, you give me that, I'm going to take it. Right. So is it like that? Like that's not her thing. She doesn't like, well, I can ask you, you're your own person. So,
right.
All right. Yeah. Like, do you feel like you can disconnect like that and be okay? Or is it like, I need my family?
Yeah, no, I am 100% with you. Like, I enjoy being with my family. I enjoy being with my husband. I think earlier, after we had our son, who's now 7, like, I could not, like, I just felt like I could not leave, right? Not because I didn't feel like he was a good dad, but, like, in my mind, whenever I did leave, it's like, oh, well, he's been alone with AJ for so and so many hours. It's just like, oh, guys, I gotta go. Like, it's been a while. I know that this might be a lot for him. Like, I need to get home so I can help out and stuff like that. And I would share those things with Drew, and he'd be like, but why? Like,
Right.
why? And I'm like,
We were
I
fine.
don't know. Like, I just don't
my
know.
kids.
Right.
I don't know. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I feel like I want to be there, and at first I felt like I needed to be there, but I think I've grown to not really feel like I need to be there. Again, not to say anything about his parents.
Of course. Yeah.
But, I've kind of grown out of needing to be there. It's more of a want. Like, I want to be around my husband. I want to be around my kids.
Yeah.
So, they are my happiness. So it's just kind of like, I could go out, but I also could not. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be all right either
That's
way.
a beautiful thing, though.
Yeah.
I understand it from your perspective. Also, we've talked about that, and I understand from her perspective. And so, I think that shows the level of commitment that you ladies have towards your family, and really how serious you are about this.
Yeah.
And really how you care. So I think that's a good thing. So I appreciate you, babe,
Yeah.
for being just that amazing woman.
Of course.
that
It's
has
always more fun with a friend, He's like, go to the spa for the weekend. And I'm like, okay, a few
When are you
like,
coming?
hey, babe, you're going to meet me here? Right, right.
I'm like, I'm chilling.
Why don't you just...
Yeah, I'm okay.
Right. Okay.
Right.
I'm
Check
alive.
the cameras. Everybody's
We like
fine.
company.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's cool. And it's not to say that. It's not to say like get away from me, woman. It's not that. It's just
No,
I think for
understand.
men, I just I don't. You tell me, from your perspective. 'Cause everybody has different perspectives, and men have different ways of going about it. And so I think knowing how to prepare yourself. I think what you do in the morning is a great thing that helps you prepare for that. But I think at some point in time that there are men who probably would like to at least just have that moment where it's just not just on a Father's Day, but just where it's like, okay, you know what, I can just be Brandon again, or I can be Drew again, or it could just that one thing. And it's not necessarily about the fact that that guys just want to go out here and just relive the bachelor life or whatever the case is. Now that's a whole nother situation for those guys that want to do that. I ain't got nothing for you. But it's just I think for some people, because I talked about with some of my other guy friends, some of our mutual friends, and it's like it seems to be a thing like we're not necessarily like they have to get away, but it's just more so when do you have time to be you. And so it's good that you had that moment where you can have that block. So for me, mine's is at night because I'm a night owl. So when they're asleep, she's asleep like at 8, 9, whatever the case is. Their kids are all gone, and I'm like,
That is
Love
early.
it. I love it.
Oh, my
8 o'clock.
man, listen, shit, straight out. I'm like, okay. So, but that's the thing. So, I make sure the kids are tucked in or whatever the case is, and she'll make sure that they're good in the morning. And then I wake up and I drop them off. She gets them up and ready in the morning, and then I wake up, okay, got to take the kids, okay, to school, okay, let's go. So that's how we trade that off.
Yep.
But for me, I already know once they're able to be asleep and they're good, then that's my time where I can kind of just settle in and I can just listen to my music, whatever, just have a moment to do the the decompress that I need, and so that's something that I think is really important. And I was at one point I was in the morning just like you. I was like 3, 4 in the morning up every day or whatever the case is. But for me, because I am a night owl, that going to bed at 1 and then wake up at 4 was not necessarily working out for me. So I was like, yeah, exactly. I was like, I need to make sure I keep my brain cells.
Definitely.
But that's important. But I do want to ask you, like I said, about your hat, mental health advocate. Now, tell me a little bit about this hat here.
Okay, cool. So the brand is Mental Health Advocate, and we started maybe a few years ago, but it really didn't get off the ground. Going back to college, my father, he left the earth early, committed suicide my freshman year at Fort Valley, and I started off as a biology major, transferred over really quickly to psychology, because in my mind, that was trauma connection. I wanted to know what was going on, so that way. Because with suicide, you don't get answers, so
right.
In my mind, I was searching for them. So that really kind of led me down the path of mental health or psychology, then counseling, then, eventually owning my own practice and talking with people and, seeing the need. I feel like there's no any kind of connection, rather I pledge alpha, so we wear wristbands, you can tell our colors, other different organizations or things like that, like you can tell this person is a part of this. So I created this as almost like a walking billboard myself. So when people see me, like they know, okay, I can have a conversation with this person if he has the time, respectfully, right?
Yeah.
But also just kind of keep that awareness going that mental health is real and this is something that is important, and create more mental health advocates. So you can have these conversations with your friends and you can direct them to appropriate outlets. People call me all the time, and friends especially, like they'll call me all the time and say, "Man, I'm thinking about getting in therapy." I say, "Well, hold on." They hear a ring, like, "Who you calling?" "Oh, I'm about to get you some counseling. Like, we about to call somebody right now because if I let you hang up, you're not going to call." So today is the day, my brother, my sister, that you will be talking to somebody. So we're huge advocates, man. So we started this business, and right now we're on Instagram, Facebook, Etsy. And so that is the story behind Mental Health Advocate.
So are you at like, is your handle for all of the
what is our handle, babe?
Collections by MHA.
Collections by MHA is the apparel, Instagram, Etsy, right? But our personal Instagram is _ Be the Bridge.
No. Andrew Gordon, LPC.
Andrew Gordon, LPC.
Listen,
Recently
right. We
changed.
see who's right.
Right, recently changed.
We thank God for the wives. They keep us in
Right.
order.
Like, listen, this is right.
I will be searching and not finding it. Like, my bad.
I ain't see no bridge. I ain't see no bridge. Right.
Right.
Said it was down.
Like, yo, come on. That's
So yeah. So that's who we are. That's how we got here. Mental health advocate. Coming soon with more products, and hopefully we can get more people to rock it and like really spread the word of mental health awareness. Correct. Perfect timing to shoot this podcast and be present on it.
Very much.
Definitely.
I think what's important about this is that obviously just from a I'm going to be selfish here just a little bit and talk about from a Black perspective. You talk about the mental health aspect. What do you see in it when it comes to us from a relationship standpoint? Do you find that it's more challenging for the individual to get help as an individual, or just to get help from a relationship, like a couple's aspect? Like we need to go to marriage counseling, see a therapist, see a counselor for this, or is it like I just need to work on me or work on us? Where do you see the biggest challenge in that?
Biggest challenge is like people will call and they're looking for couples counseling, marriage counseling, and we don't do marriage counseling, but we do encourage the individual, whoever called, hey, if the wife is calling for her husband, well, we don't do couples counseling, but he does work with men and men's issues, and it sounds like your husband may be dealing with, some of these symptoms. So, maybe having a consultation with Andrew just to kind of see, if this would be a good fit. We kind of take that direction. So that way we're not necessarily pushing them away, but we're just kind of giving them a different
another
outlet.
direction, another avenue.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got you. I think that, what you guys are doing is this God's work. It really is.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It really is. So, I wish you guys nothing but the best on in that endeavor and that purpose in that ministry. Because I always say everything is a ministry, no matter how you look at it. Even if it's in a business, it's a ministry. The combo we set for us, with this dealing with married couples, we wanted to really, really help however we could and set the example in whatever way. So that's our ministry. Is in this business, and so that's really important. I want to switch gears here real quick. What does fun look like for you guys? Is it something really over the top, or is it something just really simple that only you guys could understand? Just like, this is us.
Right.
Fun. I think I've had the most fun with you traveling, right? Like, kind of going out and hanging out here and there. It's cool. It's a good time. But I think we really get to enjoy each other's company when it's just us. When there are long periods of time when there's just us. So like I think about our Mexico trip, like that to me, you know, is definitely a lot of fun that we've had. So long story short, right? Activities. I feel like that's what you're really getting to. Activities is adventurous things. So, you know, zip lining, we've what else have we done? Zip lining.
Yeah, we've done
kayaking.
Yeah, go ahead, give it to him.
That's all right. Run it down.
Yeah.
Whitewater rafting.
Yeah.
Like things just kind of outside of the norm. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? With like friends that we enjoy being around. Who, you know, share the same values.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes, important to connect.
You know? So yeah, I think those kinds of things are what's kind of considered fun. I mean, just really any time could be a good time.
That's right. As
But
long as you
my
have
fun
good
time-
company.
It's your fun time, right?
My fun times.
That's
were
right.
the
Fun
more
time.
adventurous
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I
So
love
are
adventure
you like
too.
that? Are you the adventurous one, or is she the
I'm
adventurous
definitely
one?
the more
He's
adventurous
definitely
one.
more adventurous
Yeah.
than I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the introducer.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
but-
always like, I don't think I want to do it, and then we do it, and I'm
And
like,
then you're like, okay, wait, I want to come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm definitely more adventurous. Whitewater rafting, all those times. Intentionally going into the river was on me. Yeah.
Oh wait, you got flipped out
he flipped
On
around.
purpose.
You flipped the raft.
Yeah, you sit in the front, and then when it goes like up and down, you push it down, and the whole thing will flip. It's awesome. What an experience.
He said, now see, I would probably
we
be
gotta
for
fight.
Brandon.
We gotta fight. I'm sorry.
He would definitely. I'm whitewater rafting. We water ski. Like my dad is a major adventure. You know, so I'm.
Yeah. And I'm all for it. Like
Cliff
she grew up with that
jumping,
stuff.
all of it. You know, that's
Yeah.
that's right up my alley.
She
so.
like I said, she's like the real whatever.
She's the extreme.
She's the
adventurous
extreme.
type.
And so we were down. Where were we? We were in
Mexico.
Was it Mexico? Oh yeah. So I'm like, yo, listen, we got all inclusive. Yo, I'm chilling, chilling,
Oh no.
chilling. Yeah, look, exactly. I already know, babe. We got this. We're gonna do zip line here. We're gonna do rafting here. Whatever the case is.
Right.
And
I'm
so,
telling
stuff to
you,
do.
we
Listen,
definitely
so-
need to get
and things to do. I get it. So listen, I'm
Of the
cool with
resort.
I'm cool with whitewater rafting. I am. I'm cool with zip lining. I'm cool with all that. We go into the cenotes and go into the bottomless water.
Oh yes,
That right there. Why,
it was
why do you need to tell me it's bottomless?
yeah.
Right.
In the
No
caves
ending.
No,
and-
right. Don't listen. Like, she's the mermaid of the family. I know how to do just enough to get by. Yeah, I know just enough. Okay, I you know. So me, I'm like, Lord, and in order to get to the other side, you have to jump off the cliff. Her, shoo,
Right. Didn't even think about it.
right. Your turn.
Or they-
Lord, I just want to get back to my son. If you do anything for me right now, Lord, let me get back to my child, please.
Man.
I mean, I'm like, it took me back to when I was 12 years old, learning how to swim. My grandmother getting ready to cuss me out if I didn't jump off that diving board. Oh my gosh, I was
Right,
so
he
scared.
went back to his
And
Trauma.
Exactly, that's really what it was.
exactly.
I was like, I hate it here. So, had on the dive. Had on the life jacket and everything, whatever. Still, I think it still scares all get out. Jumped in. I was like, babe, you gonna have to catch me. I'm sorry. You gonna have to catch me. All of this. I know I'm bigger than you, but
That's
you gonna have to
right,
catch me.
exactly.
And
I
she was
had
like-
to know, babe.
I got you, babe. I got you. Almost took her out.
We was not trying to. I'm going down with the ship for my babe.
But we made it. But we
Made
made
it
it. But
back.
we made it. And had a good time.
We had an
I love-
awesome time.
Zip lining was great. That was a good time. So I mean, I like the adventure.
Yeah.
I just, if I could do it without having to worry about getting too deep into the water,
Yeah.
I can do.
I'm
I'm
with
water-esque.
Yeah.
I'm just not water all the way.
Facts.
So
Yeah.
I'm
But
working
the
on that.
stories,
Yeah,
like
the
look at these
stories.
memories.
It's the memories, yeah.
that you have. It's
cool.
funny. Another just quick adventure story, because it will when we went kayaking, and like we're doing good. We went kayaking this past Summer. It was this
summer.
past summer.
Yeah, we did. It's a great time though. Enjoy.
Great time. So this wasn't our first time kayaking, but like we were getting like that stride. We were with some other couples, and
we
by the time we turned around, like they were nowhere in view, and so at that point it was like, all right, well we just got to make it to the finish line,
we
like
on our own, but we enjoyed the scene.
Oh yeah, we were.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we did it in like
an hour,
30 minutes, whatever. It was like 30 minutes quicker than like they anticipated. I don't know, because we were actually kind of not the whole time, but we were boom.
What is it, rowing?
Yeah, we were rowing.
We're rowing, and then what she's trying to get to.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. My story, just with like we're doing good, and it's like, babe, we can do anything together. All of this, so I'm like, the song is like, whatever, row your boat gently down the stream.
She's like, let's go backwards.
I'm like, what if we were feeling so confident? Like
she was feeling confident.
Yeah, me.
Okay,
right.
okay.
It was me.
I was feeling good. She was feeling overconfident. So let's go backwards. So I was like, babe. She's like,
I
just
wanted to see how it. I wanted to see how it technically would be to row backwards, to go upriver, like to go against. Like I just, like we
you
were.
You really have to turn around and do that. You just.
But I also wanted to give them. I mean, like
a little chance to catch up.
Yeah, like exactly. So we were
like,
kind of.
Let's go.
Boom, boom, boom. He's like, leave him.
Right.
Like, no loyalty, babe. So
I love
trying
you guys.
to just slow it down.
Winners win.
A little bit, but anyway. So we're like for a little bit. We're going, and then I don't know, it like hit the side. It just all went wrong.
We were going backwards. I'm like, babe, we're getting ready to go hit this tree right here. She's like, babe, just relax. I was like, no, we're not. This is and like I'm like, Lord, if this thing flip over, I'm about to like lose it.
Yeah.
I'm already on 10 already. And so once we hit it, I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I think she knew.
But we remained calm. That's the key. You have to
knew,
remain calm.
I think she knew that I was like right there on the edge, so she was like, she did the woo 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 woo. It's okay.
Wait, is that a thing? Like for real? This was it?
No, she didn't really do that.
I did, but it was like.
Yeah, that's Living Singles like our show, so we all talk
like
about the same
I don't know how very quickly.
We did good, baby. See,
right when we're back going the right way and we're safe at this point.
Thank you for being brave, babe. Thank you for trying. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Right, not going off on me.
I was in one kayak.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes, we were in the double. Yeah, the
big
tandem.
green Indian kind of.
Yeah, it was one of those things, whatever, and it was just like, man. So yeah. This is the wild child.
Yeah, she's the extreme.
I'm going to
adventurer.
push
I like exactly. That's what she's a line stepper. Habitual
line
stepper.
Bit of a line stepper.
That's what it is for her. We have a great time. I can go out and have fun though. Like I like adventure, but she is just like through the roof, and so I'm
Push
like,
the
okay.
line.
So fun times over here. It's never a dull moment.
Well,
did you die though?
Right, that's our thing. We always say, but did you die?
I'm telling you,
that's the worst that can happen.
Right.
I think one thing that we say to each other when the kids are not with us is like, I like you so much better when the kids aren't here. Like I get to really like enjoy you,
right?
Versus them yelling in the back.
Exactly.
You got attitude. I got attitude. We got attitude with each other because they don't care that we got attitude. Like So, but like, man, I was like, one day we were driving, we were going somewhere. Like, man, you know what? Man, I like you so much better. Like when they not around.
Yeah, because you get to not be mommy mode, not be daddy mode. We just get to be.
It's just me.
First name, right? It's right. It's me and you.
Wow.
First name basis.
Yeah.
Come on,
There's no mom, no dad. It's just you and you.
It's just right.
Us.
Exactly.
And that's important. So I think, I think having you around has helped me to appreciate that even more. It's a little bit, even though you try to drive me crazy. You try to drive me crazy a little bit with that though. But it's cool. Like I think that's what helps with the relationship with the dynamics. You have someone who's able to really you balance each other out. So she's one way, I'm another way, and we make it work. And you appreciate, you respect others.
Right, the difference, right?
Differences, their views, their perspective, and it helps you to really see things from another viewpoint. But also, that's the thing about, like we were talking about earlier. It marriage helps. It holds a mirror up to you so you can look at yourself, and that's part of that as well. It helps you to look at yourself and say, "Listen, how can we grow? How can we evolve into something even more spectacular, even something more amazing?"
Absolutely.
And with having that help partner, having that person with you, that partnership, that spouse, it helps you to become the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
And from what I can see here, I can see you guys are definitely becoming the best versions of yourselves because of each other.
Yeah.
I can honestly say that. I'm not even trying to gas you guys up. I see that on you.
Yeah.
I really do.
I know for me, and it's interesting that you kind of point that out. I mean, because I think for me, I've struggled with being a little bit like grace, right? Giving grace. We talked about that. We talked about giving grace. And like sometimes it's like, I won't necessarily say my way or the highway kind of thing, but it's like, babe, you got to do this like this at this time. Come on now, So I think, just learning to be a little bit more gentle, I think is something that I've been working on a little bit more. And giving grace a little bit more. Now, am I great at it yet? No, I am not. But I know for sure that's something that I know has been a little bit of a struggle for me, and a little bit of some type of, tension for you a little bit.
So it's building patience with
Yeah, building patience. Being a little bit more patient.
Patience.
Being patient. Yes, for sure. That's definitely one area that I'm growing a little bit more in that space. So it's interesting that you kind of point that out.
But that's awesome that you recognize that, because that's part of it. Like, we're always growing, we're always evolving. We always will be, we're always going to be striving for more, but just kind of really recognizing, hey, this is an area that I do want to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's major.
That is.
And look, and even just, when we were talking about power there is power in partnership. Just coming together, combining ideas, combining just businesses, formats, just it's we know what we know, and that's what we know. But when you bring a whole nother person into it, it just opens up a new just world of possibilities. Absolutely. So even with, I know, as it relates to this business, it's just a vision for what it could be. I knew, hey, we have a heart for couples, and I really feel like God has placed us in this position. And I feel like when you have a good relationship, you should help others. Like, it's kind of your business to make sure that you share that, like God has blessed you with something. How can you help others achieve that, and more? So just really, tapping into that. But I knew I felt like we were brought into this space, but I had no idea that it could be any of this. This was Brandon's world and Brandon's idea, but I'm just so thankful for just his vision and all that it could be, because I knew, like, hey, I want to help, and how can we help? And now, just even with the book alone, we're able to help in ways that we never were before,
It's reached people that we don't even know.
Right. In other countries. And like, it's crazy the effect that it has now. So definitely just power and partnership, really being able to take that vision and just take it to new heights.
I got a question for you, for you guys. We always talk about, that there are three things that you should have, the mentor and the soldier and the mentee, the person that you look up to, the person who can help you, that is like the soldier that's fighting that's in the battle with you, or that can help encourage you, and then someone who you can pass it along to. So we know we have our marriage mentors. We have people that we look up to. So we kind of say like our OGs or whatever case is. So like who are the OGs for you? Who do you guys look up to as far as mentors, either from up close or from a distance?
Yeah.
You know, who would you say are those for you?
To be honest, man, I don't necessarily have too many older generation of people that have been married. Like my mom and my stepdad been married since I was like in 8th grade.
Okay.
You know, but other than them, you know, like it's not that common, you know what I mean, to see or to know that many married people. So if anything, if I was going to say anyone, it would probably be friends, you know, that we've connected with over the years to, you know, kind of give advice or just kind of, you know, just watch, you know, the other person's presence. Like I think we were in Florida one time and a friend of ours, Joe and Tiffany, like they hold hands, like when they together. And we was walking separate, like we was just, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like that public affection and, you know, arm around and holding hands, like I was like, that was a thing. And, you know, the conversation came up, you know, and later on then we started doing it, you know, because like that seemed to be something that was important, but also, you know, connection, you know. I talk about like, you know, oxytocin in the brain, right, and in the body. So, you know, sex isn't the only way to, you know, release that hormone, right? Holding hands, giving hugs, you know, touching each other, like connecting and on those ways. Touch. So like that's another way to build it. So that was just another way for us to like really introduce that and, you know, strengthen our love and our marriage.
Okay.
Love that.
I can definitely agree with the OG thing. I really didn't grow up seeing marriages like my dad and my stepmom.
Hello.
My dad and my stepmom.
Second time.
Right. So, you know, I don't really have anybody that I feel like, you know, I see and I'm just like, oh my God, like you guys got it all mapped out. You guys planned out. Like, please tell me the story. Like, how did we get there? You know, that's just not something that I see. Now I have run into, you know, older people. Matter of fact, my husband is a coach. So, one of the grandparents on our team, we just so happened to have conversation about it when we had our, you know, end of season celebration. So it's more so that for me, right? Like I might catch a couple of stories and kind of get an earful from them, you know, but nothing that I see regularly, right? But I definitely agree that there are more friends that I'm able to kind of I think you said the battle, or what was it? It was your mentor.
You have the mentor.
Soldiers
there with you.
So more so soldier for sure is kind of, you know,
fighting the same fight right now
in the battlefield.
Who's right there with us. Again, it's not a whole lot, but we have a few friends who I look at them and I'm like, I know for sure if I turn to either one of these ladies, like, it's going to be good, solid advice, good, solid information, and not, you know, something that, girl, I wouldn't deal with that. You know, that kind of thing. Like, I don't want to hear that. That's not the space that I want to be in. Like,
that's not from a good spirit, right? Right.
So, like, you know, for my girls, Jazz and Lynn, like, I know for sure if I turn to them, good, solid advice every time.
Shout out to Jazz and Lynn.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that's what it is.
And I think it also, well, I guess since we're like looking at other marriages, we saw, I guess, kind of what we didn't want, right? We both grew up in, you know, single parent households, and we knew that, hey, if this is something that we're doing, then we should give our kids the opportunity to have both parents in the household. So we know what we don't want, you know, and so we do our best to make it look like what we want it to look like, not necessarily, you know, having those, you know, people to observe, you know.
Right.
So, you know, social media, not social media, but like, you know, like people on like, not Real Housewives, but it's another one like Black Love or something like that, you know, that we can, you know, collect questions to create dialogue, you know, to, again, find out deeper, you know, about our relationship. Dr. John Gottman, y'all familiar? He created Love Maps.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay.
It's a little more familiar now.
Yeah. So
Okay.
if anything, like me just being in the field, I'm always like on YouTube and finding stuff. So I'll
Always
find
researching.
something,
Yeah,
and then I'll be like, you
yeah,
know what?
yeah.
Let me show you this, and we'll sit down and watch it together, and boom, just like
Discuss
that.
it and-
Yeah.
yeah.
So again, like we know what we don't want it to look like, and so we're proactive in creating, you know, we're figuring out what we want
in
ours to look like.
creating.
That's
Love
beautiful.
that.
That's
Love
beautiful.
that.
I think, you know, I think for you guys to be able to come from the backgrounds that you came from, but then, you know, you said that your mom got remarried when you were in 8th grade. You said, okay, and then your
My dad, what was that, 6th grade? I might have been 6th grade, 7th grade, somewhere around there.
So both
okay,
middle school.
gotcha. Okay, so but at some point in time, you were able to see them actually formulate something where
For
okay,
sure.
it's something that's possible.
Yeah.
So even in, you know, even though it may have started out one way, but you were able to see something, even with the pro and the con of it,
Right.
and that helped shape you
Yeah.
into who you were, but also how you guys wanted to be together.
Right.
Sure.
I think people, you know, we always talk about, you know, what happens in childhood really affects what happens
Absolutely.
later on in life.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Either
You know,
you're gonna go
um,
towards it or go like
Yeah.
strongly
And
against
so,
it.
yeah, for us, you know, we, you know, my parents were married 39 years before my dad passed, and then you know, her parents are still going. That was like 43, 42.
3?
It'd be 43 in February.
1980?
Yeah. So yeah, both our parents got married in 1980, but yeah, hers are going to 43 right now. So it was like, you know, we were able to see something, and it was really I think it helped shaped us. But you know, it can either shape you into what you see for what you want, or you see what you don't want, and then you know how to flip it.
Right.
But
and
you have
make
to have the
those
right mental
necessary-
fortitude and
Right.
a mind frame to know
Absolutely.
how to understand that. Because
Yep.
some people, they go into resistance, into rebellion and fighting. Instead, you guys say, you know what? I saw this. You know what? Because of that, I'm going to do something that's going to shift.
Right.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's very, you know, that's admirable of the both of you guys to be able to do that. But to get back to the question I was asking about, you know, who's your OG or whatever, I was asking those questions because I wanted to figure out, you know, the circle of friends, and because we always say good couples have other good couples that they connect with,
Yes.
and that they connect with, and that they have a bond with, because you know, even though it is, you know, husband and wife, and that's all that matters. We understand, you know, your business is your business, blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, there are
need
people that you need
support.
to have
Yes.
some outlet to, because
Absolutely.
sometimes it can't always be, you know, I can't always come to you every single time. Sometimes I need to be able to just have a little bit of a relief moment, just to kind of say, you know what, dog, you know what, this is something else. So you know what, let me tell you what my wife did or whatever. You know, she did something really cool, or she made this something really interesting, you know, however you want to look at it. Or maybe not even about your spouse, but more so about how you are as a spouse yourself. You know, it's like, you know, man, I feel like I may not be doing something right as a husband, or I could have handled this a little bit better. You know, because I know I've gone to our friends, you know, I'm like, you know what, this situation happened, I feel like I handled it this way. How do you think I should have handled it? In that accountability aspect.
Right.
And I think that's more so what it is. We come to our friends really about how we can be better, not necessarily about, you know, them.
What it is, right,
It's
right,
like, you
right.
know, what can I do?
Yeah.
And I think that's important. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you guys also have that
Yep.
as well. That's
Yep.
really important.
And I'll add to that too, because I know I was a person that was very resistant to that for a very long time. Like, I'm not quick to share my personal, you know,
No new
experiences.
friends.
No, seriously, no new
No
friends.
new friends.
Like, the friends that I have gone this long with we've been friends since middle school.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like a little bit more recently where I started to make other friends, and even after making those friends, like, being in a space where I will allow myself to open up and be vulnerable with them, when, you know, in things that I'm kind of going through. And, you know, not to say that it's just, you know, going through all kinds of crazy stuff, but, you know, sometimes it's just the small stuff. Like, I remember I hit my friends up and I'm like, y'all, I don't know, like, why I just got an attitude about everything, but I got an attitude about everything. And I'm like, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to have an attitude about everything, but I do.
Right.
And they, you know, they kind of like help process me too. But listen,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I think there's definitely power in vulnerability and like allowing yourself to share your life with other people beyond just your spouse, because it does offer growth.
Yes.
So I definitely think that is something that I hold very dear now, and it took some time for me to get there, but yeah, it's huge.
That's important.
Love
But you know
that.
what?
Love
You
that.
said something because it allows growth, but also, you know what it is though? Sometimes your friend can tell you the same thing that your spouse is trying to tell you, but you can't hear from your spouse.
Yeah.
You can't receive it from your spouse because they're too close to you.
Yes.
And it's like, you know, babe, I told you the same thing, but it doesn't matter.
Sounds
You know, it don't
different,
matter
right.
because you can't hear from them because they're too close. So you need to have that outside person that's placed, and then they're able to really give you what you need. You know, well, listen, I think
Don't
this
get
was.
mad, bro. Don't get mad. I tell everybody, man, go get somebody from the world, get them to tell the same thing. Like, why argue? Why get mad? You know, that's how it's going to be. You know, and you're the same way. Like, you don't hear everything that she says, and so, hey, man, you gotta find a therapist because we did that because we wasn't hearing each other.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's get a third party in here that can break it down so where you
Right.
can hear it and I can hear it.
So we can ultimately get to the bottom of it and solve the issue or move
Absolutely.
past the issue.
Yeah,
So
issue
no,
solved.
definitely putting it out there on the table and
Yeah, those are all important things. All important things.
Well, thank you guys.
Yes.
This has definitely been such
I've
an
enjoyed this.
insightful interview. We appreciate, everything that you guys were able to contribute. Really quickly before we leave, if there was one piece of advice that you could leave for just married couples, it could be newly married couples at any point in their journey.
In the trenches, doesn't matter.
Exactly. What would that be?
I would say always give grace. You know, you're human too, right? You didn't marry a robot, so you have to expect that the other person is going to make mistakes or, again, you grew up in two different households, so they're not going to be like you or know, things like So you have to be more accepting and willing to listen and learn, from the individual. Like, you know what? Okay. You grew up in the country. I grew up in the city. Like two different places,
Right.
two different lifestyles. So just, taking the time, if anything, to learn, okay, this is how you grew up. Okay, I have to accept that, but also be able to compromise.
Love that.
Yeah. I think for me, just remembering that love is an action, right? So there is always going to be a need for you to choose your person, right?
Yes.
So, I've had conversations with friends before, not necessarily married, but like I think a lot of people chase that feeling of being in love, right? Not really understanding that being in love is a state of being, right? And it comes and it goes. It's cyclical, right? So sometimes I'm not your biggest fan right now, and it's okay to not be that person's biggest fan, but also remembering that there's a choice. You have to constantly choose this person.
Yes.
Showing
Daily.
that you love this way. Yes. And like dying to, and I think our pastor said this before, like being a Christian is dying to your flesh. Like you are killing your flesh every day.
Every
right?
day.
So like being a spouse, you're killing yourself every day. Not, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're dying to that
So
singleness.
that
and you're-
exactly.
you're-
The single you was dying every day.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So like just choosing your person, you guys will always find your way back. That would be my
words of wisdom.
Love it. That's awesome.
I think that's an excellent way to go out. I thank you guys so much, really, seriously. Miss Shiedah, Mr. Andrew, aka Drew, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. Hey, no problem. Listen, for all the people out there that's watching and listening right now, thank you guys for listening to a Love Like That podcast. Make sure that you guys are following us on Instagram at a Love Like That _, on Facebook at a Love Like That LLC, on YouTube at a Love Like That _, and pick up the book, The Marriage Bubble, right there. Pick it up.
Don't meet us in the bubble. Beat us, guys. Get the book. Some good stuff. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. This is my wife. So, and then like I said, sign up for all that, and make sure you guys register for our 5-day marriage bubble challenge that we have. We already have one for November. We have another one coming in December. Yeah.
Guys, check it out. Keep on moving. All right. But anyway, listen. Thank you guys for watching and listening to a Love Like That podcast. I'm Brandon.
I'm Jacqueline.
Take care. Peace.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.